I'm Jill Geisler. I wrote the book, Work Happy, What Great Bosses Know. I hold a chair at Loyola University in Chicago, and I teach managers and leaders across the world how to help their people do their best work by being better leaders. I think there are people who like to think that stress makes us tough and stressful environments are kind of sexy to work in. They're not. Stressful environments harm people. I'm not talking about the occasional deadline that energizes you. I'm talking about relentless stress that comes from bad management. So bad, in fact, that the American Psychological Association estimates that $500 billion of income is lost to the U.S. economy because of the effects of stress. Health effects, lost creativity, lost productivity, worker turnover. Think about that. Better management could bring that money back into our economy. So if you want to be the kind of manager who reduces needless stress, you need to think about two different things. One is structural, and the other is personal to you. So let's start with the structural. First of all, think about your own planning and systems in the organization. There are bosses who like to say that, well, we're flexible and we're just in time, but there's a difference between truly just-in-time customer service and the kind of flexibility that actually means we don't have a plan. We're always responding reactively rather than proactively. So the best managers know that they have a good planning system. The second thing is to take a look at your workflow and always step back, no matter how comfortable you are, step back and take a look. How many hands are touching a product before it goes out? And is that too many? How many people have to sign off on a decision before it can be finalized? And is that healthy? Then think about how people communicate with each other in your organization. If you pledge to each other, make a compact that you are going to have closure as quickly as possible on open issues, then you'll succeed. Now, what do I mean by that? I send you an email and I ask you, can we swap shifts next week for one group of people who need it? And you get that and you say to yourself, I got to think about that for a while, and so you don't answer right away. Well, the problem with that is that the other person cannot read your mind. And all that while, there's a black hole of uncertainty. If you don't know, send a note back that says, I'm checking, I'll be back with you within 24 hours. That's short closure. Of course, the best closure is to give the answer as soon as you can. Those kinds of things, planning, systems, closure, and also clear priorities. Because when you don't state what your priorities are, everything seems to be a priority, and that puts stress on your employees. Now let's look at the personal side of things. Let's say all of your structures are good, but what about you as a person? First of all, think about your emotional intelligence. Do you know how to read people? Can you tell whether they seem like they're operating out of pattern? They're too quiet when they've normally been a lot more vociferous. They seem down when they're usually up. You can, with emotional intelligence, find out what's going on and sometimes find out that it's stress. You can read a room and see if your people are happy or unhappy. But more than that, you've got to think about your own habits. You may be the kind of person who just loves to wait until the last minute to make a decision. That's just the way you're hardwired. Well, what does that tell people? It tells them that they have to wait until the last minute to get their work begun. If you're an introvert and you like to keep your thoughts to yourself, they can't read your mind. If you're an extrovert and you like to think by talking, and they can't be sure if you've just given them an order or you were just, kind of freestyling, that can be a problem. You have to manage yourself so you can lead others, including those times when you get all excited about an idea, you're up at 2 o'clock in the morning and you just want to blast it out to people. they're getting an email from you in the middle of the night and they're not sure if you want them to be working at that time too, believe me, that causes stress. So it's important for you to look at your structure and look at your own personal habits to see if you can immediately, by that assessment, improve on the stress situation in your organization. I think that we've sometimes made a mistake by thinking that as leaders we have to be the first to arrive and the last to leave. And you know, if we are good managers, we do absorb a lot of stress for people that they don't even know about. You're going to meetings where we're talking about plans that could negatively affect them and you hold it all in. Do a few things. Number one, don't be the first one there and the last one to leave. And secondly, make certain that you think about resilience. What do you do to take care of your own health? You have to have some interests outside of work. You have to find ways to have what I call a safe venting zone, another professional you can talk with, who you can unload about the negative parts of your day and share the joyful parts. And it's a person who is as likely to tell you you're great as they are to kind of give you a kick in the behind if you are feeling sorry for yourself or you're on the wrong track.